fear of getting naked again at our age. So many of us are starting over, but there's such an apprehension about getting naked again. Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. Today, I'm so happy to welcome back Junie Moon, the love coach, best-selling author of Loving the Whole Package, and podcast host of Midlife Love Out Loud. Say that 3 times. Junie, thank you for being here again.
You rocked it. You rocked it. You said it all well. And it's so good to be back. I love hanging with you.
I have to admit, I had to practice that a little bit. Great podcast. We'll link to it. I want to revisit a conversation we had last time you were here, and that is the fear of getting naked again at our age. So many of us are starting over, both you and I have, but there's such an apprehension about getting naked again for various reasons. Today, in our conversation, I want to actually reference 7 very common fears people have. But before we go there, let's again visit back to our conversation, because you struggled with that. You had fear of getting naked, and you have a very unusual story, or unique anyway, of how that came up and how you addressed it. Let's briefly revisit that.
Yeah. I had some huge body image challenges. I was extremely afraid of being vulnerable and naked for most of my life. We pick up a lot of messages from our culture about what beauty looks like and how I'm supposed to look. And so, yeah, terror, do not look at me. I unpacked and released a lot of the old beliefs around my body and body image, and ultimately released it enough to be able to get naked and body painted for my film, where I talk about my journey around releasing that fear and being able to embrace my beauty and love myself just as I am. I'm not at the top of the mountain. I still have those moments, but overall, I am free.
No, I think last time we said it's like your graduation to all the unpacking you did. That's a big step. That's a big step.
Yeah,
I will link to both your documentary as well as our video for some of the background on this. But for today's discussion, let's get to some of the specific fears that both men and women have. And number one of the first things that we bring to mind is we worry about what we look like because for weight issues, stretch marks, cellulite. Talk to me about
Got
that.
it all. Got it all. Yeah. Again, we have been indoctrinated into how we're supposed to look, and the big compare and despair disease that we tend to have around how we look, and, oh, she looks better than me, and how would I be loved if I don't look like that? We have to identify that there are these thoughts that have us feeling inadequate or full of shame, and that gets in the way of us being able to connect with other people. So acknowledging that is one thing. Coming to terms with this is your body and loving it as is another. And there's a journey to it. There's no doubt about it, because it's not really going to happen from here. There's a transformational inner journey to be able to get comfortable in your own skin. So that's one of the things I do help people with.
I think what really hit me when I heard it is that we worry more about what we look like than what somebody else does.
Totally.
And so if you can maybe keep that in the back of your head, that maybe it isn't such a big deal as you think it is.
Because we zoom in on, my belly. And trust me, I have done that many times in my life. When they're not zooming in on my belly, they're zooming in on who I am and that they love me, that they want me, the whole package. That's why my book is called Loving the Whole Package. When I can love all of who I am, I can relax. And we want someone to love all of who we are.
Well, number 2, and this is a big concern that women, only express, I shouldn't say only, but probably mostly only express to themselves. And that is what you currently look like, what your vagina, your vulva, what state it's in right now.
So, I'll share that I was in a workshop or initiatory weekend, whatever you want to call it, with Mama Gina. I don't know if you're familiar with Mama Gina, but she's a women's empowerment leader. And I don't even know how to put her into a box. Trailblazer when it comes to freeing women into their pleasure. I think that says it all. She showed us a video of all these different types of vaginas, all these different types of vulvas and lips and just all the different shapes and sizes. And it really cracked the code for me that we all have our unique, special look. And again, it comes down to, can we love how we are because it's our body? There's nothing wrong with us. It is who we are. This is what we've been given for pleasure, for connection. It's us. And yet we've been told we're supposed to look a certain way. Yeah. So when we can find out, like I did, that there's lots of different shapes and sizes, can we take some shame off there as well? And again, a guy doesn't give a shit. A guy does not care. It's like, oh, I want you. Yay. It's not like, well, there's a little bit of puffiness here or a little bit of this there. They want you. And hopefully that's what you want as well, as someone who wants you, not, looking with a magnifying glass and judging you.
Yeah. And if he does, then he's not your guy. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's certain things about attraction, maybe that, something attracts you, something doesn't. But if that's truly an issue, then you shouldn't be together. The natural progression, number 3, that's one of my favorites, the pubic hair.
Yeah.
What is in? Oh, this was big for me when I, after 30 years, came back. And if you do come back, or when you do come back after a long time, yeah, you might want to be aware of pubic hair, and that becomes an issue up here too.
Yeah. Well, one thing is Bush is coming back. So that's one thing. I think women are rebelling. It's like, that hurts. Waxing hurts. No. I remember when I left my husband and went out into the world, it was, whoa, everybody's waxing. There's no hair, even guys. And frankly, it's not my thing. I'm not as attracted to the bare floor, whatever it's called for men or for women. Right. And so I played the game a little bit. I was like, okay, this is what's in. Let me try it. Well, like I said, not only was it painful, and another thing I had to do, which is like, I have enough to do. I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like how I looked. It wasn't for me. So again, it came back to, how do I want to be? What makes me feel sexy? And again, if it's not going to work for someone else, I mean, you could have the conversation. Maybe it's trimming. Maybe it's something in the middle. But again, I always encourage people to be themselves, to love how they are and not jump through other people's hoops. Because if you're not loving how you're looking, if you're not feeling good in your own body, that translates into that connection, the intimacy, and the freedom to enjoy the journey. And if someone can't see beyond a little extra hair or a little bit less hair, what are they really wanting here?
Well, the practical advice on this, if you are concerned, but I want to know, if they ask us, I mean, just go, do it in the middle. I mean, the full, as you called it, the full bush, or the totally, now you're like a juvenile. Somewhere in the middle, you're probably safe. If it's the first time getting naked, just do something reasonable. You can be comfortable. You can be comfortable.
Be comfortable. Be comfortable. Just be comfortable.
Well, let's shift it to our guys here for a minute. One of the number one things that comes up in studies and in research is, you guessed it, penis size. A lot of men are really concerned about their penis size.
Yeah. Well, again, when there's the shame, the comparing again, it's in our culture. And most men are in the average vicinity, and most women are quite happy with that. I don't know if this is okay to share, but I'm going to share it. You can always cut it out. I remember this one intimate time with this guy, and I've never seen anything so large in my life. And he was so proud. He was just standing there like, look what I got for you. And I wanted to run for the hill. I was like, that's going to hurt. So how you use your equipment, whether it's huge, whether it's small, again, it's about knowing that this person wants to be with you, and you can have pleasure with any size for sure.
Well, and at our age especially, and we've have other segments on this. The fact of the matter is, and I'll link to some other videos we've done on this lately, but only, and listen to this, men, only 25% of women actually have vaginal orgasms.
Right.
At best.
Yes.
At best, it's more like even 20%, because the older you get, the more that goes down.
And I think having a conversation as well, no matter what size, is being able to have conversation with the person you're with. I mean, that's what we're wanting, is intimacy and connection. And so I've had those conversations of, I need to go slowly. My vagina is not the same as it used to be. I need to be warmed up. Keep that thing away from me. I'm not ready. You know? But seriously, all kidding aside, to really have that sharing between you so you both can relax and enjoy and get out of your heads and into the pleasure.
Right, exactly. And we're not, obviously we've been laughing throughout all these points because we can identify with them, not because they're funny or because they're not valid. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you for that.
We do enjoy these segments. This is such important information, and I really do want people to take it seriously. So
yeah, and I've been scared too in the past, have these conversations. Sometimes discomfort, even when I was starting to date my beloved now, to be able to say, sometimes I'm not as wet as I used to be. I need a little bit more time to warm up, and feeling a little like, ooh, am I going to be judged? Feeling some fear around that, but keeping it in here, that's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And then, and don't forget the lube. That's another thing. Some women don't admit to needing lube because they think there's something wrong with them. Nothing's wrong with you.
Nothing's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Yes, there's lots of options, and lube is one.
Now, talking about penis size, the number 5 here, and this is interesting, cut versus uncut, meaning circumcised versus not circumcised, that's something that is on the minds of men. We'll put this out to our men listening, please comment on this as we address it. But what do you think, Junie? Have you heard much about this?
I actually haven't heard that much. I think once again, at this age, people are just overall accepting what is, And with that said, I remember when I was pregnant and talking to my husband at the time about circumcision, I was against it, strongly against it, because there's really no need to do it. And he was like, well, he's going to look different than me. And what's that going to be like? And so we again had to have a conversation, and he started doing some of the research that I did. And he was like, I'm angry that they did that to me, because there's something to be said about losing the sensitivity. So whatever is there, again, it is who you are. It's part of who you are. It's what you're showing up with. And a woman is going to love you no matter what. And if you have some concern about it, then share about it, because that's how we get closer, when we share our fears and concerns. And frankly, I've been in both scenarios, and they're both wonderful.
So I guess the question to our men is this more of a concern than we're aware of? And if so, how and why? Maybe offer some feedback we'd love to hear from the audience. And then talking about penis size, cut, uncut, boobs. Let's get to our boobs. We worry about what our breasts look like, especially as we age.
I think it comes back to, again, we have our boobs. It's another part of our body. And some are bigger, some are smaller, and some have dropped. And yes, in the second half of life, they're not as perky as they used to be. But they still give us pleasure, and they still give men pleasure, because they're still boobs. Their men are happy because they're, the boobs, Get out of your head, love your boobs up, and embrace what you have, because that's what you have, and sadly, women that have lost their breasts, they have to go through another whole journey of, now I'm even more different than other people. And it doesn't take away our sexuality. It doesn't take away our ability to have amazing sex. And again, if a man really wants you and loves you, it's just another flavor to your whole package.
Exactly. And it's society and the whole media world, that has put so much shame on penis size, on breasts, on what your vulva looks like. There's all kinds of surgeries for everything now just to make you more normal or attractive. And it's really at the root of a lot of these insecurities. And that really is, it's too bad. Junie, finally, the last one here, how you stack up against a former flame, that this is something that a lot of us bring to bed.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. As soon as I saw the ex, I would go, oh my God, she's thinner than me. She's prettier than me, blah, 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 blah. And that's in the past, because now, after coming home to who I am and doing the shadow work and loving myself fully, I don't even go there because I'm the package. I am the one that they want now. If they have unresolved issues about their exes or their previous partners, that's their problem. That's theirs to deal with. And maybe they're not ready for me or for you. That's something that I shared with Michael, my partner, around, are we complete with our exes? Are we complete with our past? And we certainly are. And we talk about some of our fears and our vulnerabilities, of course, because that's what's beautiful about relationships, when you have a safe place. So the compare and despair of the exes, that's long gone, because they're not me. There's no one like me. And if they're choosing to be with me, then they're with me. And anything else is just a distraction from being fully in the partnership.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway from our conversation today is not so much the solutions to each one. We've tried to offer some, or what we think about it, but it's really the awareness that this is so normal.
It's so normal.
You're not alone. People, whoever you're going to bed with for the first time in a long time, they're bringing all, or a lot of this anyway, to the table, more than likely bringing that to the table as well. So in that spirit, Junie, is there anything you want to add on this before we close out here?
I just want to underline the importance of self-love and self-acceptance. When people come to me and say, oh, you're a dating expert, help me with my profile, help me know which apps to go on. I can. At this point, I'm a dating expert. They need to tame their inner critic. They need to empty out and really get clear about who they are and love themselves so fully. Fill up your own cup, date yourself, and love your life, because that's what makes you radiant. It's not how your boobs look. It's not how big your dick is. Love your life. And when you love your life, then you come to the next relationship full and excited. And that is attractive. I offer to you to share my ebook, which is How to Tame Your Inner Critic. And I love this ebook because it really helps uncover why you're telling yourself these things. Where did you learn these things, and how to unplug and shift it so that your inner critic isn't bashing you and you can truly love every aspect of your journey.
Absolutely. That'll be in the show notes, as well as the links, all the other links to Junie if you wish to coach with her directly. That'll be down here. Her book right there, Loving the Whole Package. And of course, your podcast, Midlife Love Out Loud. Junie, thank you for your time. And I look forward to another conversation soon on Second Act TV.
Thank you. So good to be here, Silka.